Okay, part 2 of Sylvia Browne. I looked it up. Thank goodness I did, because I don't think I would have figured out that her name was Sylvia Browne. Okay. 3 million a year. Browne said she observed heaven and angels. She also professed the ability to speak with a spirit guide named Francine to protect a wide range of virtual frequencies books. Browne authored some 40 books on paranormal topics, some of which appear on New York's Times bestseller list. Many of these books are acknowledged as a result from collabs. I'm calling it collabs with other writers such as Lindsay Harris and Chris. Television radio. Browne was frequent guest on U.S. television radio programs, including Larry King Live, The Motel Williams Show, That's Incredible, and Coast to Coast AM. During these appearances, she usually discussed her reported abilities with the host and then performed readings for audience members or callers. On certain occasions, she was paired with other guests, including skeptics, often leading to debate about the authenticity of Browne's psychic ability. Browne hosted her own hour-long online radio show on Hay House Radio, where she performed readings and discussion paranormal issues. I actually might want to go and watch these because I actually kind of find this interesting. I'm into this stuff. Browne appeared in a 1991 episode of Haunted Lives, True Ghost Stories, and the segment Ghosts Are Us. Reminds me of Toys R Us. She portrayed herself in a reincarnation of events that purportedly took place in a haunted Toys R Us. Okay, I didn't even pay attention to that part. Ghost R Us store. Browne also appeared as herself on the CBS television soap opera The Young and the Restless in December 2006. Okay, so these are going to be some of the false claims, and we'll probably talk about these again because I have more articles. Browne made many public predictions which were subsequently proven false. Among the more notable incidents were the following. In 2002, Browne informed the parents of 11-year-old Sean Hornbeck, who had disappeared earlier that year, that he had been kidnapped by a dark-skinned Hispanic man with dreadlocks and was now deceased. Hornbeck was found alive in 2007. His kidnapper was Caucasian and short-haired. In June 2008, the UK television network, I want to say it's ITV2, was SANCTIONED by Ofcom for re-airing the episode The Motel Williams Show featuring Browne's original prediction. In November 2004, Browne told the mother of a kidnapped victim, Amanda Berry, and if you don't know that case, that's a whole different conversation to have. I know that case like the back of my hand pretty much. That is disturbing. Everything about that case. And she's not the only one who was found. Who had disappeared 19 months earlier, said she's not alive, honey. Browne also said that Berry was in water and that she had a vision of Berry's jacket in the garage with DNA on it. Berry's mother died 2 years later, believing her daughter had been killed. Berry was found alive in May 2013. On Larry King Live in 2003. See, these are the predictions I want to do. Browne predicted that she would die at the age of 88. She died in 2013 at the age of 77. Psychic detective cases. In 2000, Burrill's Content examined the 10 recent Motel Williams episodes that highlighted Browne's work as a psychic detective, spinning 35 cases. In 21 cases, the information predicted by Browne was too vague to be verified. Of the remaining 14, law enforcement officials or family members stated Browne had played no useful role. In 2010, the Skeptical Inquirer, skeptical, published a detailed 3-year study by Ryan Schaefer and Agatha Jadowasika. Okay, I'm not even going to try, just J. That examined Browne's predictions about missing persons and murder cases. Despite her repeat claims to be more than 85% correct, the study reported that Browne has not even been mostly correct in a single case. The study compared Browne's television statement about 115 cases with newspaper reports and found that in 25 cases where the actual outcome was known, she was completely wrong in every one. In the rest, where the outcome was unknown, her prediction could not be substantiated. The study concluded that the media outlets that reportedly promote Browne's work had no visible concern about whether she was untrustworthy or harmed people. See, those are the cases that I would be like, I would love to help out, but I'm less like, these are just take with a grain of salt. Don't take my word for it. Like, go do your search. Don't just, trust that only. Add other things to it. Among the predictions exclaimed in the study were the following. In 1999, Browne said 6-year-old Opal, Joe Jennings, I love the name Opal, who had disappeared a month earlier, had been forced into slavery in Japan. Later that year, a local man was convicted of kidnapping and murdering Jennings in 2003. An autopsy of Jennings' remains found that she had died within hours of her abduction. Dang. In 2002, Browne said that Holly Krewson, I'm not sure how to say this right, who had disappeared in 1995, was working as an exotic dancer in Hollywood's nightclub. Okay, in 2006, tunnel records were used to positively identify a body found in 1996 in San Diego as Holly's. In 2002, Browne said that Linda McCalliland, who had disappeared in 2000, had been taken by a man with the initials MJ, was alive in Orlando, Florida, and would be found soon. In 2003, Linda's son-in-law, David, who had been present at Browne's reading, was convicted of murdering Linda. Her remains were found near her home in Pennsylvania. In 2004, Browne said that Ryan, a 19-year-old who had disappeared in 2000, had been murdered and his body could be found in a metal shaft. In 2006, Ryan's body was found in his truck at the bottom of a pond where he had drowned. In a 2013 follow-up article, after reviewing more recent predictions by Browne as well as a prediction whose outcome had been earlier classified as undetermined but were now largely resolved. According to Schaff, Browne was mostly or completely wrong in 33 cases, as most accurate in none. Saigo minor disaster. Okay. On January 2nd, 2006, an explosion at Sando Mines in West Virginia trapped several miners underground. The following days, Browne was a guest on the radio program Coast to Coast AM with George. At the start of the broadcast, it was believed that 12 of 13 miners trapped by the disaster had been found alive, and when George asked Browne if the report lack of noise from inside the mine might have led her to think that the men were dead, she replied, "No, I knew they were going to be found." Later in the program, it was discovered that the earlier news reports had been in error. Browne said, "I don't think there's anybody alive. Maybe one. I just don't think they're alive," adding subsequently that she didn't believe that they were alive. "I did believe they were gone." Popularity. Browne, a large following. In 2007, she had a 4-year waiting list for readings by telephone. That same year, hundreds of people joined Browne on a cruise, each paying thousands of dollars for psychic readings. Many of her books became staples on the New York Times bestseller list. Browne attracted media attention 7 years after her death, when social media users claimed that a prediction in her book, End of Days, and Prophecy, What the Future Holds for Us, referred to COVID-19 pandemic. She claimed a severe, illness would spread around 2020. News coverage of the alleged similarities appeared in March 2020 and was picked up by celebrities with large social platforms such as Kim Kardashian. Investigator Benjamin Radford. I'm sorry, it's totally a crime name. Like Benjamin Radford, the sheriff. And others dismissed the one. It's a good name. Paragraph predicted as to genetic and actually more to the 2000 SARS epidemic than to COVID. Radford said that as Browne has preceded predictions by the thousands, the fact that this one happens to possibly maybe partly right is meaningless. Okay, so do we want to continue? Yes. James, when Browne's vocal critic won the specular movement of James, a retired stage magician and investigator of the paranormal claims. James claimed that Browne accuracy rate was no better than educated guess. On September 3rd, 2001, Browne stated on Larry King Live that she would prove her legitimacy by accepting the James Education Foundation $1 million paranormal challenge. Geez, that is a long name. To demonstrate supernatural abilities in a controlled scientific test by April 2000. However, Browne had not contacted James to make testing arrangements. On May 16, 2003, in another appearance on The King Show, Browne said she had not taken the test because James refused to place the prize money in RACOS is a contract arrangement in which a third party receives and distributes money. Okay. James responded by mailing a notarized copy of the prize account status showing a balance in excess of $1 million. Browne refused to accept the letter. In late 2003, despite challenging rules that the money could not be placed in, escrow, James announced that he was willing to do so for Browne. She did not accept or acknowledge this offer. In 2005, Browne posted a message online that she had never received confirmation of the prize money existence, despite James' claim that he had a certified mail receipt showing Browne's refusal of the package. In 2007, on CNN's Andrew Cooper's 360, Browne's business manager, Linda Ross, stated that Browne would not be taking James' challenge because she had nothing to prove to James. John Oliver. In a 2019 segment of HBO's Last Week Tonight, John Oliver criticized the media for promoting Browne and other psychics and enabling them to prey on grieving families. Oliver said when psychic abilities are present as authentic, it implodes a vast underworld of unscrupulous virtue, more than happy to make money by offering an open line to afterlife, as well as many other services. fraud conviction. During the late 1980s, the FBI and local authorities began investigating Browne and her businesses over several banks' loans that caused sustained loss to banks. In 1992, Browne and her husband, Kenzel Browne, were indicted on several charges of investment fraud and grand theft. The Supreme Court of San Carroll County, California, found Browne and her husband had sold security in a gold mining venture under false pretenses. In a last one instance, they told a couple that their $20,000 investment was to be used for intimate operating costs. Instead, the money was transferred to an account for the Naive Foundation for Psychic Research. Browne pleaded to no contest to security fraud and was indicted on grand larceny in California. On May 26, 1992, the couple each received a year probation. In addition, Browne was sentenced to 2,000 hours of community service. Personal life, Browne married 4 times. Dang, that's a lot. Her first marriage was from 1959 to 1972, was to Gary. The couple had 2 sons, Paul and Christopher. She took the surname Browne upon her 3rd marriage and later changed it to Browne. Her 4th marriage took place on February 14, 2009 to Michael Urquhart, the owner of a jewelry store. In March 10th, the Society of N.S., the nostalgic Christian church founded by Browne, announced that she had suffered a heart attack on March 21st in Hawaii, requesting donations on her behalf. Browne died on November 20th, 2013 at age 77 at Good Samaritan Hotel in San Jose, California. Her interment was at Oak Hill Memorial Park. Sylvia Browne, is she for real? Sylvia Browne is famous for telling distraught parents where their missing children are, but as in case of Amanda Berry, she gets it wrong a lot. So why does she still have such a massive following? John Rawson took a cruise with America's most notorious psychic to find out. At sea, day 1. It is Tuesday evening, and I am on a luxurious Mediterranean cruise ship called the Western. I'm in the audience in the vast lounge. A grouchy woman is sitting on a beanie and golden throne on the stage. She's complaining about builders and disturbing dietary advice. Her name is Sylvia Browne, and for years I've wanted to interview her. She's America's most controversial psychic. She's become famous for telling the parents of missing children what happened to their kids. Distraught parents go to her during her weekly appearances on the Motel Williams show on CBS television. Motel is like opera. Sylvia tells them, your child is dead or your child was sold into slavery in Japan. I'm not saying it's funny, it's just the way she just is so blunt. She really did once say that in 1999. A 6-year-old, Opla Jo Jennings, had a month earlier been snatched from her grandparents' front yard in Texas. While playing with her cousins, a man pulled up, grabbed her, threw her into his truck, hit her when she screamed and drove off. Her distraught grandmother went on Motel's show and said, this is too much for my family and me to handle. We want her back. I want to know where Opal is. I can't stand this. I need your help, Sylvia. Where is Opal? Where is she? Sylvia said she's not dead. But what bothers me now. I've never heard of this before, but she was taken and put in some kind of slavery thing and taken into Japan. The place is Kukouro. We will do a part 3 because this lady is a lot. I find it very interesting. I hope you all are enjoying these type of videos. I'm going to do a part 3.